Some breaking news out of Miami, Florida, as two members of a Miami ship owner group were heard in a conference call using racial slurs, including the N-word. Now, most of the Dolphins players did not like this, and 7 players will be sitting out for the Dolphins' next game, and 7 other players will be requesting a trade from the team. This week is the trade deadline, and they have requested a trade. The most notable player who wants to be traded is this man right here, the starting running back, rookie Bryce Love. Love has not made a lot of big plays, but he's been very consistent, and I would be surprised if the Dolphins did trade him right now, but he will not be playing until after he gets traded, which could be now, it could be in the offseason, or he can come back whenever he wants. There are also many talented players who are sitting out this one game, including Kenyon Drake, Jawan James, Rashad Jones, Willie Hayes, etc. We spoke with rookie defensive tackle Ed Oliver, and he said that that's just used as a distraction, and that's not going to prevent him from playing the game he loves. So here's an official list of the players who will be sitting out this next game against the 5-2 Philadelphia Eagles. The Dolphins are also 5-2, as it's going to be Kenyon Drake, Jawan James, Taylor Moton, Willie Hayes, Jerome Baker, Dorian O'Daniel, and Rashad Jones. Players who will be requesting a trade include Jacoby Brissett, the backup quarterback, Kenyon Drake, of course, Bryce Love, Philip Dorsett, Jonathan Woodard, TJ McDonald, and Rodriguez Keith. Other than Bryce Love, the only other starter is rookie defensive back Rod Keefe. He was a 6th-round pick out of Florida Atlantic, and he's only started a couple games. He's been sort of flip-flopping with that number 2 cornerback spot, along with Xavier Howard and Cordrea Tankersley. So this is certainly a huge issue for the Dolphins. This is a huge distraction, and I would not be shocked if some of the players sitting out one game, maybe even sit out longer. We will now be seeing some not great players starting. Most notably, at the running back spot, it'll be Malik Bostic, the former Westlake Hornet, who does not have a single NFL carry. I think it should be very interesting as he's going to be starting. No NFL experience. He was a solid player at Westlake, but he went almost undrafted. Picked him the 7th round by the Miami Dolphins, and I'm curious to see how he does. He won't have Jawan James, and I think it will be challenging for the Dolphins to overcome that, not just this next game against the Eagles, but the whole season, as it's a huge distraction for them, losing multiple players, and it's going to affect the confidence, and it's going to be in the heads of a lot of these players, which could prove to be a huge issue. Miami is not the only place with a lot of drama, as there is some brewing in Baltimore. Defensive veterans Eric Weddle and Terrell Suggs, 2 of the most experienced and 2 of the more wise players in the NFL, have expressed their discomfort with the Ravens front office about the growth and development and attitude of 3rd-year cornerback Marlon Humphrey. Humphrey was a Pro Bowler a season ago, but the former Alabama product has been nothing but a distraction in the Ravens locker room. He has skipped numerous practices and has overall not had a good attitude. Ravens head coach John Harbaugh has been planning on benching Marlon Humphrey from this week forward and has put him on the trade block for anyone interested in him. Humphrey is a very good and very talented cornerback, but apparently his attitude and his ego have become a huge problem for the Ravens that they do not want to deal with his wrath anymore. There was one team particularly interested in Marlon Humphrey, and they were able to get a deal done. That team was the Miami Dolphins, as it was actually a 5-team trade to give the Dolphins Marlon Humphrey, as the Chiefs, Giants, and Saints were also in it. The Dolphins received Marlon Humphrey in a 2021 5th-round pick from the Ravens, as well as former Giants backup quarterback Davis Webb. The Ravens received middle linebacker Anthony Hitchens from the Chiefs, defensive back Ken Crawley from the Saints, and Dolphins backup quarterback Jacoby Brissett. The Chiefs are receiving Philip Dorsett, Corey Grant, and a 2024 4th-round pick. All of those are from the Miami Dolphins. The Giants will be receiving Jamal Agnew, Jonathan Woodard, and a 2025 round pick. Also, all 3 of those are from the Dolphins. And the Saints are receiving Rodriguez Keith and Kalen Ballage. Those 2 players are also from the Miami Dolphins. So, seeing a common theme here, most of the players traded in this deal were from the Dolphins. The Dolphins were the main, negotiator and the main leader in this trade, as they traded a grand total of 7 players and only received 2 in return, of course being Marlon Humphrey and Davis Webb, but none of those players are starters. They did not give up any really important draft picks, and they're getting a talented young quarterback to sit behind Ryan Tannehill, as well as Marlon Humphrey, who, if his attitude and ego can be addressed, then he can be a really good player for the Dolphins. The Ravens are getting pretty good value for a player they were going to bench, as another quarterback behind Lamar Jackson and Joe Flacco doesn't hurt, and Jacoby Brissett. Ken Crawley will play a mix of cornerback and 3 safety. He should be very nice there, as the Ravens could certainly use him. And then Anthony Hitchens at the middle linebacker spot. He will complement C.J. Mosley very nicely. The Chiefs will be receiving a little more playmakers for their offense in Philip Dorsett as well as Corey Grant. Neither of them were used too much with the Dolphins, but I do expect the Chiefs to use them more, and they also plan on using Reggie Ragland a little bit more in the defense. The Giants did not want Davis Webb, as they're fine with Kyle Lauletta for the time being. They got Jamal Agnew, a phenomenal special teams player, as well as a 5th-round pick, and Jonathan Woodard, a decent rotational defensive end. The Saints are getting Rodriguez Keith and Kalen Ballage. Ballage is a very good power back. He's only in his 2nd year out of Arizona State. Showed a lot of flashes as a rookie, but hasn't gotten a lot of carries this year. And then Rodriguez Keith, he can play both cornerback and safety. He's only a rookie. He was picked in the 6th round, but has gotten a lot of playing time for the Dolphins. So overall, I think all 5 of these teams are winning. I think Kansas City probably could have gotten a little bit more. But other than that, I think these teams all made a good trade, as Marlon Humphrey is now a Miami Dolphin. But the Dolphins do need to worry about their distraction of numerous players sitting out this next game and sitting out moving forward for multiple games.